Morning everybody, how we doing? Sam, United People's TV here on a Monday. Is it a Monday morning? It is a Monday morning. It's all about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, reports from ESPN, or more importantly from Andy Mitten, who is the editor of the United We Stand fanzine, the longest running Manchester United fanzine, very well linked with Manchester United. He is reporting that according to sources, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is set to sign a Manchester United contract as early as this week, and an announcement will be made. Only yesterday, Zlatan Ibrahimovic released videos on Instagram of him doing some karate kicks, looking pretty fit, considering only 4 months ago he had a surgery on a double knee ligament injury. For him to do that 4 months after that is phenomenal. But my question this morning for you is, do you want Zlatan Ibrahimovic back at Manchester United? Now, the reason I ask that, I mean, from one point of view, of course you want him back. He's an absolutely established top draw striker. He'll bring goals to the team. Why wouldn't you want Ibrahimovic back at the club when he nearly scored 30 in his debut season and would have, bar that injury? On the other hand, Manchester United in the start of this season are playing a different style of football that I don't think we could have played with Zlatan Ibrahimovic leading the line instead of Romelu Lukaku. There's serious pace on the counter-attack. We have a striker in the box all the time in Romelu Lukaku. Crosses are getting met by headers. Would that have happened with Ibrahimovic in the team? If Zlatan comes back into the squad, would Jose Mourinho pander towards him too much? Would Jose Mourinho then start him instead of playing Rashford maybe there? And maybe Lukaku will play a little bit less? That's why I ask, do you want Zlatan Ibrahimovic back at Manchester United? Let's read a few of your comments out straight away. Sam Pinson saying, "Hi Sam, I think it would be silly not to re-sign him. Imagine Zlatan playing central attacking midfield behind a front three combo of Lukaku, Martial, Rashford and Mickey, with Pogba bursting forward. That's mad goals right there." Ibrahimovic as a central attacking midfielder is an interesting concept because that's certainly one thing he did naturally as a striker. He always seemed to drop deep. That was probably because he was frustrated at a little bit of a lack of service last season at Manchester United. But Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I always felt, instead of being in the box to get on the end of crosses, he was dropping deep to try and win the ball back. And that's what I mean when I say you bring a different style of football. But he'd certainly bring goals. 28 in his debut season. He was outrageously good at points, but outrageously frustrating at other times. I suppose you could say that about most strikers, really. Patrick Doob saying, "I'm torn. Could be good for us. If he's back up, he must accept that he can't play every game, or that he'll come off the bench mostly." And I think, Patrick, you've raised the key point there. My key concern with anything to do with Ibrahimovic coming back to Manchester United. If he was to come back to Manchester United, he must accept that he's not going to be starting every single game, every single week. We've seen a new look Manchester United, an exciting new look Manchester United in these first 2 games of the season. It's only the first 2 games. We're not going to get overexcited. But we followed up a 4-0 against West Ham with another 4-0 against Swansea. We've got Leicester next. If we can do the same thing to Leicester, we're starting to see a team come together. We can't then reintroduce Ibrahimovic into the squad and for him to then expect to start every single week. The reason we signed Romelu Lukaku for £75 million is because Ibrahimovic got that injury. Had he not got that injury, I'm not sure whether we would even signed Lukaku. But Mourinho brought in a new striker, and he's always said that I don't need to bring in 2 new strikers this summer because Ibrahimovic looks like he's going to be fit again. And I always felt it was going to be a case that he would return to the club. And his presence off the pitch, phenomenal. That's one thing I think Zlatan really does bring to the club, his personality and his presence in the dressing room. We're already getting that because he's using our training facilities. So that's not an issue. But Patrick, as you say there, if Ibrahimovic does return, he has to accept that he won't be starting every single week. If he can accept that role, I think it would be an outrageously good January signing, or maybe even earlier than January. Eamon McDermott saying, "Not sure this is a good thing, Sam. If he's willing to spend time on the bench, then maybe Zlatan and Lukaku up front would be great." That's one hell of a massive partnership. That would be the biggest strike partnership Man United have ever had, potentially. Probably. But Eamon raising the same issue there. If Zlatan's not willing to stay on the bench sometimes, it would be a bit of a concern. Have I seen the Buy and Ibra video, says Abdullah Saeed. I have, and if you haven't seen it, so Ibrahimovic is doing his karate kicks, saying I'm nearly ready to return, And then Eric Bailly sends a quick reply of him punching and kicking Ibrahimovic in the arse and then running away like a little school kid. It looks like United are building that sort of team unity in the dressing rooms. These sort of videos didn't really used to come out. I didn't really used to take notice of them, but I'm seeing them now and it's putting a smile on my face. And that's the sort of impact I've always felt that Ibrahimovic has had on the squad. He's made Man United realise that we're winners, that we're born to win trophies. That is Man United's mantra. That is Man United's goal. And Ibrahimovic brought that sense of, I don't know, sense of place. And just reminding Man United of who we are. He certainly brought that back to the club. We won last year. We won the Europa League, won the League Cup. The year before, we won the FA Cup. So as bad as the last few years have been, we've certainly been winning trophies. But it's not the trophies that Man United fans want. Premier League, Champions League. But in terms of bringing that presence back, that's certainly something that Ibrahimovic has done. Timo Anderson saying Zlatan equals God. My favourite player of all time. Never count him out. Imagine Zlatan as a super sub, impact sub. Wow. A lot of people feel that Zlatan is God. Zlatan himself certainly thinks he's God. And in his debut season, to score 28 goals under that much pressure at that age, coming to the Premier League, the guy exceeded expectations on every level. But if you're looking at an impact sub, look at what Anthony Martial has done from the bench in the first 2 games. Started both games on the bench, came off the bench both times, goal and an assist in the first game, goal in the second game. That is already a fantastic impact super sub. So do you think Ibrahimovic arriving wouldn't see that much of Martial, even from the bench? Does that mean that he would step in front of him and go further up the pecking order? And if that's the case, is that a style change that you would be happy with? Zlatan will teach Lukaku so much, says RJB. I agree with that, but I think he already is teaching teaching Lukaku behind the scenes. As I said, he's already at the club. He's already going to be training with the squad. So Lukaku's already learning from him. Krua Boss saying top striker in 2016-17. I'm sure he will be a great leader duo. Ibrahimovic and Lukaku would be a dream. I can't ever see Mourinho playing 2 up front, so I'm not sure we'd ever see Lukaku and Ibrahimovic playing together, but it's certainly something to think about there. When Zlatan left PSG, they lost the league to Monaco. He has a huge impact. Man United have certainly started strong this year. We didn't win the league last year. Let's be honest, we were never really in the running past, what, November, December? Would Ibrahimovic have that sort of impact coming back to the club? I'm not sure on that level because he's already at the club, so that impact has already been had. And Mourinho's just building this great squad together now. But if Ibrahimovic, as I said, I'll say it again, if Ibrahimovic is willing to accept his role as not a guaranteed starter at Manchester United anymore, I couldn't see it being a bad signing. That's what I think anyway. Guys and girls, if you're new to United People's TV, please hit that subscribe button, hit like button down there as well, and make sure you get your comments in and share the video. These live streams, I love doing them, love chatting to you, love hearing your comments, and I want to do more of them. So the more the merrier. He will slow us down, says Musa, and block Martial again. Not fair for Martial. That would be one of my biggest concerns about Ibrahimovic returning, is how he would change our play. Because with Lukaku, we've got a ferociously fast centre forward. We can play balls in behind, and Lukaku can get on the end of them. Ibrahimovic can't do that. If he plays up there, he'll play as a target man. He'll play with his back to goal, bring the ball down, and bring the wingers into play. But then if that's the case, he can't then turn and run and get in the box on the end of the cross that either Martial, Rashford, Mata, Mkhitaryan is going to send into the box. Man United would have to change their style with Ibrahimovic in the team. And maybe there is going to be certain occasions and certain games where that style suits. But I would rather not see Man United default to last season's style of play and go away from this exciting, counter-attacking, pacey Mkhitaryan, Rashford, Lukaku, Martial, this exciting style of play that Man United are building at the start of this season. If Ibrahimovic was to start every single game instead of Lukaku, I feel that would change. Can we play 4-4-2, says Winston. I don't particularly think we can. I don't think Mourinho will ever play 4-4-2. It's going to be 4-2-3-1 or it's going to be 4-3-3. The only time I remember playing 4-4-2 last season was against Chelsea at home when we had Rashford and Lingard up front and we were trying to expose the space behind their defenders. I don't think we'll be doing that every single game at any point. Do I have any information on Serge Aurier? Are we still in for him? We'll do another transfer show later in this week, a sort of transfer show wrap-up. We'll just continue talking about Ibrahimovic this one, but I haven't ignored your comment, Naveen. Play 2 strikers if Zlatan plays, says M.A. Khan. Lots of you want to see 4-4-2 if Zlatan comes in. Kolit Shakia says Ibrahimovic is shit. Needs to go. I think that's a bit harsh. I don't think Ibrahimovic by any stretch of the imagination is shit. 30, what is he, 35, 36 now, 28 goals last year. There's only 2 seasons in his whole career he hasn't won the domestic title of the league he has been playing in. That's a phenomenal, phenomenal record. The guy scores goals, the guy breathes confidence into a team. Ibrahimovic comes with a lot of assets. It's just whether or not you like that style of play that Man United play with Ibrahimovic in the team. Zlatan's pace is the issue of concern, says Abduz Bakwas. I agree on that. That would be my biggest concern with Zlatan Ibrahimovic in terms of how he would change Manchester United. Arvia said, we need Zlatan for the Champions League big matches. Not sure if Lukaku can do the job in these big games. Now that's always been one of the big concerns about Lukaku before he joined Manchester United. He didn't really score in the big matches. He scored against West Brom, West Ham, Sunderland. These sort of games are where he racked up his goals. He never scored against Manchester United, apart from when he was at West Brom. I'm not sure how many times he scored against Liverpool. But it's a fair point. Ibrahimovic does have experience in the Champions League. But remember, Ibrahimovic has still not won the Champions League. So he wouldn't guarantee success in that role. But we're back in the Champions League this year. We're in bigger, better, more games. More important, more elite level games. So maybe you do need more elite level players like Ibrahimovic to bolster the squad. Would I sign Zlatan, says JK48. My opinion is that if Zlatan Ibrahimovic is willing to accept the fact that he's not going to start every single week, I think Man United would be foolish not to bring him back into the squad. But it has to be used correctly. He has to be used correctly. We cannot just switch up the style of play and bring Zlatan back in just because he's Zlatan. If Ibrahimovic returns, it has to suit Manchester United and suit the style we're playing. We can't change for Ibrahimovic. He'd have to change and adapt for us. And I don't know whether that would happen or not. That's down to Mourinho and Ibrahimovic, but that's my opinion. I can see a lot of benefits of Ibrahimovic coming back to Man United, but I can also see some of the downsides, which is what you guys and girls do. Everyone's saying no to Zlatan because he's slow are the same people that saying don't buy Matic. I like that point, but it is a little bit different when it comes to strikers. Strikers need that pace to get in behind. Central midfielders can survive without pace. They don't always need pace. I suppose we'll wrap it up there because lots and lots of you commenting. Crew Up Boss with a great comment there. Thank you very much for your comment, buddies. Thank you very much for everybody for all your comments. As I said, going to be doing lots more of these live shows. Hopefully there'll be more of you joining in as always. But until next time, make sure you subscribe down there if you're new. Tell everybody about United People's TV. We're going to be getting bigger and better, and it's great to have you all involved. Drop a like on the video, and we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Take it easy.